Heroin. The history of heroin is relatively well known and is linked to medicine and chemistry. Heroin, also known as diacetylmorphine, was originally synthesized by pharmacist Friedrich Bayer in 1874 in Germany. It was originally created as an alternative to morphine, which was used as a painkiller. Over the next decades, heroin was used as a medicine for pain and as a treatment for opium addiction. However, over time, it became apparent that heroin causes serious physical and psychological dependence, as well as dangerous side effects. Therefore, many countries began to restrict and control its use. Heroin, as a drug, has dangerous consequences for the human body and health. Its effect is that it causes intense euphoria and a feeling of relaxation, but at the same time it brings a number of serious consequences. Here is more information about the effects and consequences of heroin on the body. Euphoria and relaxation. Heroin quickly penetrates the brain, where it leads to great euphoria and a feeling of relaxation. This can be very attractive to users. Unfortunately, history knows many cases of famous people who died from the consequences of drug use, including heroin. Here are just a few examples: John Belushi, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Whitney Houston, River Phoenix. Cocaine. The history of cocaine has its roots in South America, particularly in the Andes region. Cocaine is the product of the extraction and processing of coca leaves, a plant that grows naturally in South American countries such as Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. The indigenous peoples of South America, such as the Incas, have been using coca for thousands of years in various aspects of their lives. They used coca for stimulation, energy, and as part of religious rituals. Over time, as Europeans began to explore the region, they also noticed the properties of coca and its possible uses, effects on the body, and the degree of effect on the body and its consequences. Cocaine acts as a powerful nervous system stimulant by increasing the level of the neurotransmitter dopamine in the brain. This leads to feelings of euphoria, excitement, and increased energy. It can lead to a rapid increase in heart rate and high blood pressure, which can be dangerous for people with heart problems or hypertension. Methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a powerful psychostimulant that has a significant effect on the central nervous system. The history of methamphetamine is linked to the chemical industry and pharmaceutical science. Here is a brief history of the origin of this drug. Synthesis for the first time. Methamphetamine was synthesized for the first time in 1919 by Japanese chemist Akira Ogata. It was derived from a chemical reaction that was first described by German chemist Lazar Edelson back in 1887. It is used in medicine. Since the 1930s, methamphetamine has been used in medicine as a treatment for conditions such as asthma, obesity, and even depression. Methamphetamine has serious effects on the human body and can lead to numerous negative health consequences. Methamphetamine is a powerful stimulant that activates the central nervous system. It increases the production of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which leads to euphoria, mood, and energy. Can lead to a rapid increase in heart rate and blood pressure, which can lead to heart problems such as arrhythmia, myocardial infarction, or stroke. Marijuana. The history of marijuana has thousands of years of roots that can be traced back to ancient civilizations and cultures. Marijuana, or cannabis, has been used by humans for thousands of years. It is mentioned in ancient texts, such as the Indian Vedas, where it was considered a sacred plant and used in religious rituals. In some cultures, marijuana has also been used medicinally to treat various diseases and to relieve pain. Initially, it was mainly an herbal treatment, but over time, various marijuana-based medicines were developed. The effect of marijuana on the body can be varied and depends on the dose, method of use, individual characteristics of the person, and other factors. Under the influence of marijuana, there may be an increase in heart rate, tachycardia, and an increase in blood pressure. Can affect brain function, disrupting thinking, concentration, and short-term memory. LSD. LSD, or lysergic acid diethylamide, was first synthesized by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann in 1938. At the time, he was working in the laboratory of the pharmaceutical company Sandoz Laboratories. Hofmann accidentally discovered LSD-25 when he tried to repeat the synthesis of a substance he had previously studied. He noticed the strange psychoactive properties of this compound while experimenting with it by accidentally touching it and ingesting a small amount. This episode, known as the Fable of the First Feeling, took place on April 19, 1943. Hofmann began systematic research on the substance, and in 1947 he first described its psychoactive properties. LSD, or lysergic acid diethylamide, was first synthesized by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann in 1938. At the time, he was working in the laboratory of the pharmaceutical company Sandoz Laboratories. Hofmann accidentally discovered LSD-25 when he tried to repeat the synthesis of a substance he had previously studied. He noticed the strange psychoactive properties of this compound while experimenting with it by accidentally touching it and ingesting a small amount. This episode, known as the Fable of the First Feeling, took place on April 19, 1943. Hofmann began systematic research on the substance, and in 1947 he first described its psychoactive properties. Crocodile. Desomorphine, more commonly known as crocodile, is a powerful drug that was created as an alternative to morphine. Its name, crocodile, comes from the Russian slang expression, crocodile, because it can cause severe skin damage that resembles the scaly skin of a crocodile. Crocodile is made from codeine, which is part of wrinkle-fighting drugs. Crocodile desomorphine is a powerful opioid drug, and its effects on the body are similar to other opioids, such as morphine or heroin. However, due to the impurities and toxic impurities that are commonly present in crocodile, its use can have extremely negative consequences. Crocodile has an analgesic effect, but can also cause pain due to tissue and nerve damage from injection or use. Hashish. The history of hashish has very ancient roots and is associated with ancient cultures, such as those that developed in West Asia and the Middle East. The first references to the use of cannabis and hashish are known from ancient texts and cultures, such as ancient Egyptian, ancient Indian, and ancient Chinese. In Egypt, evidence of cannabis use for medical and religious purposes was found as early as 2000 BC. Hashish contains active ingredients, including delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, which affects the central nervous system and has psychoactive properties. Here are some of the effects and consequences of using hashish on the body. Euphoria and relaxation. The THC in hashish can cause euphoria, promote relaxation, and a sense of comfort. Changes in perception. People who use hashish may experience changes in their perception of time, color, sound, and space. Increased appetite. THC is known to increase appetite, causing the so-called munchies binge. Spice. Spice is a synthetic cannabinoid that was originally developed as a drug for research in laboratories, but then it became popular among recreational drug users. The history of their origin is complex and is related to the desire to create an alternative to natural cannabinoids. Synthetic cannabinoids were first synthesized in the 1980s by researchers working to develop drugs for disease treatment and various medical applications. However, they were later used in medical research and to develop synthetic drugs that mimic the effects of natural cannabinoids. The effects of synthetic cannabinoids found in spice can be very dangerous to the body due to their powerful psychoactive properties and unknown scientific effects. Because the formulas and composition of synthetic cannabinoids can differ significantly from natural cannabis, their effects can be more unpredictable and dangerous. Synthetic cannabinoids can lead to euphoria, relaxation, and changes in the perception of time and space, similar to natural cannabis. Hallucinogenic mushrooms. Hallucinogenic mushrooms have ancient origins and have been used by different cultures in different parts of the world. They are known for their psychoactive properties and have been used for spiritual practices and religious rites. In Mexico, where some of the most famous species of hallucinogenic mushrooms grow, they were used by local indigenous peoples as a sacred drug for spiritual discovery. In the 20th century, hallucinogenic mushrooms attracted the attention of Western researchers and became part of the countercultural movement. Hallucinogenic mushrooms contain psychoactive compounds, including psilocybin and psilocin, which affect the central nervous system. Here are some of the effects of their use and possible consequences. Hallucinations. One of the main effects of hallucinogenic mushrooms is visual and auditory hallucinations, which can be vivid and unpredictable. PKP. Phencyclidine, known as PCP, was developed as an anesthetic in the 1950s. However, in the 1960s, it was withdrawn from medical use due to its properties of causing psychoactive effects and strange behavior in patients. In the following decade, it appeared on the market as a recreational drug. PCP, phencyclidine, is a dissociative drug that affects the central nervous system and has a variety of effects on the body. PCP has been used as an anesthetic in medicine because it can lead to a feeling of absence of pain and disconnection from the world around you. This drug can lead to dissociative effects, where a person feels alienated from their body and environment. This can lead to the impression of leaving the body or a disconnect between mind and body.